Hey, hey, look at this beautiful day. Blue sky. We've had we've actually had rain down here, which doesn't happen very often. So pretty happy that we've got some blue sky. Still with sure. I don't know if you'll hear my navigator, but I do actually know where I'm going, but I didn't check the address. I just whacked it in the map, but I'm just driving into town for my mammogram. So I thought I might as well go live and we can talk about the importance of checking your tatas, men and women, not just the girls. Hey, Scout. Sunny's back at home, passed out on her favourite chair, snoring like a truckie. But whenever I leave her, I always say something like I give her a job. So today, how are you, Groover? So today her job was look after the house while I'm away. I won't be long. I'll see you soon. I love you. But yeah, I read somewhere in the last week or so that when you leave the house and you've got pets, give them a job. Oh, you've got yours tomorrow, Scout. Good girl. As unpleasant as it is, it can save your life. So, Lindy Lee, how are you? I mean, because my mum died of breast cancer, the doctors and everyone super, probably overly cautious with my sister and I, and we did get tested. Neither of us have the BRCA gene, but like anytime I've got a regular GP now who doesn't ask me every time, but when I used to sort of be bouncing between different cities with my old job, I'd often, just go to a medical clinic for the first time somewhere, and they'd always bring up breast cancer, and I always get my boobs checked. Like, even if I go to see a doctor about a broken toe, they always check my tatas. Thanks for the caps reminder. It'll be a fairly cruisy drive. Like, we won't be stopping much on this drive because it's a bit later in the morning. It's like 10 to 9, so in about an hour is my mammogram. I like to get in a bit early, get a park. And one of the benefits is it's directly opposite one of my most favourite bakeries. So straight after my boob squish, I go over the road and get a really yummy pastry as a little treat / reward for being a good girl. Yeah, I get mine every year too. It's because of mum. But I think once you're over 50, I think everyone's meant to get them annually, aren't they? They do have down here, they do have buses that go around, and it's really convenient for a lot of people that really have difficulty getting into town, especially further down the Tasman Peninsula. So they've got like a bus where you can go and get it done. And that's what I did last year, but the reading wasn't like the reading of one of my tatas. Be careful when I say boobs. I wanted to just put check your boobs or check your boobies because that's kind of what we're saying here. But yeah, one of my boobs, the reading wasn't great, so I had to go into breast screen TAS and get it done again anyway. So this time I was just like, and I just missed the bus. I think the bus was down our way till the 17th of August. Um, Thanks, getting on her. I'm not worried. I do my boob tests every month. Got my little reminder in the shower, and the first of every month I do a check. Plus, we love our boobies, so we do sense when things are going on. Oh, you lost your mum to breast cancer too, getting on her. Well, that's another thing we've unfortunately got in common. It's not something I'd love to have in common with people, but it's brutal. And some of you would remember last year my friend Cherie died of breast cancer. She was only 36 with two little kids. So every month, her brother-in-law, who's my best friend, check your boobies on his Facebook page in her memory as well, which is really lovely. Yeah, it sucks to losing any of those at 50. The difference now, like she died in 2000, and the difference now in support services and pay for carers and things like that, none of that really existed when mum was sick. I mean, we did get some palliative care, like a nurse that would come and visit once or twice a week before she was actually taken to a palliative hospital. But my sister and I essentially nursed her, and there were no carers, pensions, or anything. So I used to go to Adelaide. I was living in Adelaide, but I'd go back to Adelaide and work for a few weeks and save up enough to cover rent and an airfare back to Tassie, and I'd come back down. And that was the pattern of my life for the last sort of 3 years of her life, I guess. So they've come a long way. They really have. The UK has good screening services. Yeah, we do too. Your perfect day, Scotch and boobies. I love you. Why? Who doesn't love tatas? I will struggle reading comments, so please don't think I'm ignoring you. I'll also glance when I can, but yeah, that's awesome, Lindy Lou. Always donate in Australia to your state cancer council, cancer charities. Not that the National Breast Cancer Foundation doesn't do a great job, they do, but they were very clever. Whoever came up with the pink ribbon concept, you know, what a success. But I was an ambassador for the Mother's Day Classic, which is a National Breast Cancer Foundation annual event. And it got to the point where Tassie was per capita, like raising the most money in the country, which was amazing. But we went to a breakfast and got an opportunity to have a Q&A with the CEO and also one of the heads of research. And during that Q&A, it came out that none of the money raised in Tasmania stays in Tasmania. And we were all pretty horrified to hear that. And then the person who was speaking said, you can go to Melbourne for treatment and benefit from the money raised in Tassie. And everyone was like, what the fuck? Why do we have to go to Melbourne to be treated? Like, that's not realistic for most people. So I bailed from the National Breast Cancer Foundation because they've got an incredibly successful marketing campaign hitting people automatically. Like, even if you go into a service station to buy a bottle of water and it's got a pink lid, you grab it before you grab the one with the blue lid, you know. And I'd never discourage people donating to them, but from our perspective in Tassie, it was like, well, we're busting our asses to run this event and not 1 cent stays in the state. So I jumped ship, and now I'm a very passionate supporter of the Cancer Council of Tasmania, and they do amazing, amazing stuff. They're not funded to the extent they can do research like the National Breast Cancer Foundation can, but their funding goes into things like driving people to appointments. Somebody like me, I mean, touch wood, but if I got sick, I can't rely on or depend on my family and friends to drive me to appointments. So they've got they fund cars and petrol and drivers to drive people to appointments, things like that, which, that's a stressor that you just shouldn't even have to worry about when you're sick. And they do a lot of other great stuff as well, but that service to me is just like amazing and very important. Yeah, Tassie money should be. It was disappointing, but it was also impressive, I guess, that she was so transparent with us. You know, like I respect her honesty. I just wish that the answer had been different. And what they do is incredible. And look, breast cancer research, if they do end up, and why the fuck they haven't yet, but because other cancers have, um, fatality rates have dropped significantly because of vigorous research. But, in the end, if they do find ways to nip this bloody prick of a thing in the bud, obviously Tasmanians are going to benefit then. But in the interim, no, no benefit at all. Not even, the doctors and the medical facilities on the mainland are way more superior because they benefit from these events. What are you checking out, Lindy Lou? Yeah, I did a few relays for life. Quite a few. They were fun. Just going around and around and around the track on the domain. But we all became very good friends, and you'd get to have like meal breaks and sleep breaks, and but all keep moving on that track. It was brilliant. I think that's one of those fundraisers that suffered because of COVID, a bit like the Mother's Day Classic. Yeah, hit that like button. If you like boobs, give it a thumbs up. But yes, I thought I'd just go live because it's a good little PSA just to remind people to get their boobs done, like. I don't know if you're hearing my maps, lady, but 10 minutes of discomfort. Same with pap smears, it can, and for your boys, your little prostate checks, it's worth it. And these people they see thousands of boobs a day. So, yep, shady man, exactly. And I lost, as some of you know, another friend to ovarian cancer, and it happened very quickly too. It was awful. We were literally having dinner with her 1 month, and 2 months later she was gone. It was very brutal. Yeah, Relay for Life. We had so many people that had great teams, and I mean, I was working in breakfast radio, and we used to send up, announcers, including me, to do sort of, keep everyone entertained. But that was almost as well, it was probably a bit more draining in some respects than just walking around the track because we had to, be funny at 3 a.m. But we were. Oh, the sound quality is good, awesome, because I played back a little bit of the live the other day to get those links and things. Remember the one when we were talking about Kylie Rodney? And the audio was so bad, and I was horrified. And then I know that in the past, sometimes the audio has been bad when my Bluetooth has been switched on, but it wasn't switched on that day. But what I did today, the reason I keep stopping, I'm already on it, Biatch. The reason I keep stopping is because I didn't turn the mouthy Google Maps lady off. So what was I saying? Yeah, the audio was shit. So this time I just put the volume up as high as it would go on my phone, and obviously it's made a difference. So thank you, Scout, for the feedback on that. Yeah, ovarian's terrific because of the too late thing. But then, any sort of stage 4 diagnosis is always a shocker, and especially in a lot of young people because they're so fit and healthy. Even though they've got cancer, they're not aware of it. It's not impacting. Breast cancer is one where younger people Um, it's sort of minor things that they're noticing that they don't automatically go to cancer. Look, I remember when Kylie Minogue was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she'd been touring and all kinds of stuff. And I remember she said the only thing that made her think something was a bit wrong was that she was always really cold. She couldn't get warm. My friends are the best, especially, you groovers are awesome. Last night we did batshit and it was so funny. And because of chat too, like we had funny stories, and Finn and I like to take the piss out of each other a bit. But I would much rather have like 15 people watching batshit and having a ball and putting the funniest comments in chat than 600 people, 600 humorless people. I mean, when I first came to YouTube, there was me and my friend Shanna. We used to just crack one-liners all the time, and we really stood out, and it surprised me. I thought there'd be heaps of funny people in live chats, and there just weren't. And it became a bit of a game. It was like, spot someone who's funny. And you look at some channels now, and they're also bloody serious, serious and butthurt, and not a lot of humour floating around. But our chat last night was just hilarious. One-liners from all of you guys who were watching it, just bang, 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 one after the other. And I was like, this is what I wanted my channel to be like. I just wanted it to be fun, and it was fucking hilarious. You love it when you watch the replay. Yeah, and all the best to you, Scout, for your boob squish tomorrow. We're technically getting our boobs squished on the same date. Isn't that interesting? I'll let you guys know the result too. Even if it's a grim result, which it won't be. I feel fine about it all. I'm just doing I'm just looking after my health and my body. There was a comment just before that I was going to mention that somebody said something, but it's left the screen. Your cervix has been lasered off and you've watched it. I had a pap smear years ago, and the doctor said, you have a very healthy cervix. Would you like to have a look at it? And I'm like, no, it's all right. I don't need to know. I'm not going to be able to tell if it's healthy or not looking at it, because I don't know what an unhealthy one looks like. But yeah, I'm fine leaving that a mystery. Thank you. But I also want to say to you, groovers, especially the dudes, like men get breast cancer too. So you need to check your tatas as well. A family member, like a person who married into our family, male, had breast cancer a few years ago. Statistically, I think Australia-wide, it's still under 2,000 men a year that get it compared to the thousands of women who do. But 2,000 is still way too many. Still 2,000 too many. Oh, Kylie had breast cancer, and interestingly, and this is where the power of celebrity, I'm actually for it, as fickle as I think celebrity is, but the number of women that got tested, they had mammograms and stuff, after Kylie's diagnosis, it spiked significantly. Same with Olivia Newton-John. So, when public figures are diagnosed with things like breast cancer and they speak out about it, it has a very positive ripple effect. And Olivia Newton-John, my God, she built this incredible facility in Melbourne for breast cancer patients. And even, I think last year she was back in Australia. She actually had to go back to hospital because her cancer was flaring up again. And she was there in her own medical centre wearing a beanie and mask because it was all during COVID. So she stayed relatively anonymous, but she got to see firsthand how amazing that facility is. And it's a very sort of holistic medical centre. There's a lot of alternate therapies as well as, the actual sort of horrible chemical nasty ones. She was big on medical marijuana, and it was quite funny because she was interviewed and somebody said, how do you feel though about squeaky clean Olivia Newton-John taking drugs? And she's like, but it's not a drug, it's a plant. It's like, go Olivia. Woohoo. So that's the line you use if anyone needs to, resort to medical marijuana. It's not a drug, it's a plant. I think a lot of people had crushes. I think even I did, and I'm completely straight. Hey, Blissful. I've been really slack with a July adopted animal. I'm so sorry. I just remembered it then. I'll try and do that over the weekend. Oh, Scout, guess what's happening for me on Saturday night? Me and my sister. If I could paint, I'd paint a portrait of you. We're off to 1927 on Saturday night, Scout. You jealous? I might try and sneak a little recording. We're in the second row. I got us the best seats. I actually bought the tickets for myself and one of my friends who has the same birthday as me, but she's going up to see her family in the north of the state on the weekend. So my sister has scored a ticket, and I booked the tickets back in 2020. So we're off to see 1927, Scout. I know. How awesome is that? Are you jealous? Much? Oh, here comes a little plane. Oh, I don't think you guys saw it. I don't know why. It went straight in front of me, but anyway. Little plane just flew over. Yeah, we're grooving to 1927, Lindy Lou. All the 80s tunes have been cracked. I've been listening to Ish to, remind myself of some of the lyrics so I can sing along. You need to Google them, Shady Man. They're an Aussie band. I've played them on my channel, and now Scout loves them. Scout Inquirer is a huge 1927 fan. In fact, she knows more about them than I do. Just a tad. But Scout has thanked me for her new obsession, so it was a good thing. I've got someone addicted to the Seekers too. I can't remember who it is, but someone who'd never heard of them now reckons they're bloody ace. So, playing music pays off. And then tomorrow, my sister and I have got an outing together, another one. We're best buddies, so it's always fun to do stuff with Ange. But my brother's back from Singapore with his wife, and we're going off to Parliament House to see a portrait of my brother being unveiled, with refreshments served afterwards in the reception room. Yeah, the Seekers. So that'll be fun. I can't lie. My brother has gone on to have an unbelievable career, and I'm so proud of him. But he was a shit of a brother. He got away with murder. He was like Ferris Bueller. And Ange and I were like Ferris Bueller's sister. Like, if we did the same shit that my brother did, oh my God, we would be in so much trouble. But when Will did it and got caught, he got away with it. The little baby of the family, the prodigal son, and even like schools and other people's parents, like everyone just loved Will. So part of me is hoping, and this is very cruel, that the portrait, like he's got a lazy eye or he's cross-eyed or his eyes are too close together or something comical about it. I mean, I'm sure that he's seen it. I don't know if he had to sit for the portrait or whether it was done from a photo, but most likely from a photo because he lives overseas. But um, yeah, so we're off to that, which is kind of weird because I've never been to an unveiling of a portrait. It's not a social event I can comfortably say that I have attended one before. You've got an imaginary brother, you can have mine. He's a good brother too. He's become a much better brother as we've gotten older, and because both of our parents have died, the three of us are already close in age. Like Angie's 16 months older than me, and I'm 18 months older than Will. So we've been like a tight little threesome, little trio, our whole lives, just because of how close we all are in age. But when your parents have gone, like that bond's even tighter now. Like we are pretty much inseparable and have our own little language. And I mean, not a sort of baby talk or anything like that, but we just know each other very, very well. It's pretty lovely. I do love when Will and Ange and I just get to do something together because we go into that little gang of three that we've always been. And I'm so grateful that I'm in a family where we all get on really well. It makes me so sad when families feud and have rifts and they haven't, like I'll meet someone and they're like, I haven't spoken to my sister for 30 years. And I can't imagine not having Will and Ange in my life. Like they are my rocks. I just hope I go before either of them because I don't want to know what it feels like to lose a sibling. But yeah, so we'll be going off to that, and there'll be all kinds of random people at that, and all these dignitaries. But I wonder if they do like a little song before they pull the curtain open, or has anyone else ever been to a portrait unveiling? What do they do? Like, will we sing the national anthem and does the person who opens the little curtain, do they go, ta-da, at the end of it? Or is it doing it? Or do they play a song like, curtains up, light the lights? This is it, the night of nights, and oh, what heights we'll hear. On with the show, this is it. Sorry I can't read chat at the moment, guys, but I'm cruising down the highway in the hot, hot sun. Yeah, off you go, little tailgating lady. Off you go. Oh, I went on the thing that makes your car get a bit. I had to move over. This dude that just passed me was actually in my lane partly. That BMW. Oh, yeah, because he's not speeding. Jesus. Doesn't it piss you off when you see fuckwits like that and then, we'll cruise along a bit further and some person's been pulled over because they're missing an indicator light. And meanwhile, there's a fucking speeding moon in the mix. I actually saw Casper live yesterday. I was in there while I was finishing up on the treadmill at the gym and he got pulled over for a random breath test. His live drive went next level. Yeah, what does one wear to an unveiling? Should I also wear a veil and lift my veil while the veil is being lifted of his portrait? I've got a dress that I'm going to wear. Um, I've chosen my outfit already because I don't need to be flustered tomorrow going, I have nothing to wear. So I tried on a couple of dresses and chose the one that I think looks like it's the nicest option at the moment. I've got my dress chosen for 1927 too. It's a little navy blue and gold A-line dress with knee-high boots. Pretty predictable Tory outfit. It was easier working out what to wear to the mammogram, to be honest, because you end up half naked anyway. Just got to wear things you can get off and put back on with ease. But yeah, in about 40 minutes, my boobs are going to be flattened pancakes. It's going to be fun. I always try to crack a joke when I get a mammogram because it's a pretty sort of, intense experience all round. One year, this woman, when she'd fully clamped my tartar, was like, don't move. And I said to her, where do you reckon I'm moving to? It's not like I can drag this 100-ton mammogram machine across the room by my tit. And she didn't laugh. Don't move. Really? You have clamped my breast. The worst thing about them is they squish you, as you girls know, and some of you guys might have had one, but I think you guys don't have to have the mammogram because there's not much to squish, but they squish to a point where you're like, this is really painful. And then they're like, just a bit more. And then they squish it again. It's like, okay. I don't know why that's the only way you can check baboonies. Like, why hasn't someone invented something a little less squishy? Yeah, cracking jokes. And look, I've used that line a couple of times because they generally do say don't move. And other mammogram people have been amused by it. But the first time I tried that line, the woman was so humorless. And I was thinking, you're not the one standing half naked in a cold clinical room with your tit being squashed. And I'm the one able to make a joke still, like, just humour me, lady. But no. Some women like that pain. Well, it's different. I mean, it's not like we experience that sort of pain any other time. I mean, I like to think of it as discomfort more than pain. And then because I do a yoga class called Yin where we get we twist ourselves, which that in itself is painful, but we twist ourselves into sort of like pretzel-like shapes, and then you hold that position for 5 minutes, and it's painful getting into that position. Yeah, I think breast screen's where it's always been, so we'll find a little car park somewhere and stroll. I crack you up. Woo. That's all I want. So it's up here on the right, but all of these parks are only an hour, and it's just there, just with that lady in the parker and stack hat. I'm in the wrong lane to get into the car park. That I'm going to the car park over there, Argyle Street car park. So I'm going to do a little blocky because I'm early. I just closed out of my map. You don't have No, I don't have big boobs. More, I mean, it's weird. I'm a D cup, but my boobs aren't like big as in pokey outy. They're big as in wide. I need the D for the because I've got wide boobs. Picture Johnny Depp. I don't find Johnny Depp sexy. I mean, I think he was an absolutely exquisite, beautiful youngster. But even like during the trial and everything, nah, he doesn't do it for me at all. And it was funny because like my sister was sending me clips of him, playing with Jeff Beck, and other friends of mine were sending clips of him doing shit. And yeah, I think he's got a really sexy mind, but he doesn't trip my trigger. He doesn't float my boat. Like, I'd love to get stoned with him around a fire pot. Blissful, you need a little step stool when you get your mammogram. Oh, bless, darlings. Bless. You've got a chip getting on her. You don't like little men. No, I like tall men. Look, I find Ricky Gervais really sexy because he's just a normal looking dude. Has anyone ever seen the cats that look like Ricky Gervais memes? My God, they're so funny. Like, I love Clive Owen. He's sort of you're 5'1". No wonder you need a little steppy stool. Bless you, darling. Clive Owen is my sort of dream man. Tall, dark, and hilarious. Russell Crowe surprised me when I met him because most Hollywood actors are tiny. And I'd never thought Russell was hot before I met him. But he was in training for the movie Cinderella Man, so he wasn't drinking at the time, and he was super fit. And he was really tall and big and buff and almost chunky, and I'm into chunky because tall, chunky men make me feel really small because I'm 5'9" and I'm not skinny. So the taller and the bulkier, the better. And I don't really, at this age, I don't care if they're muscle or a bit of chub, because if they're a bit of chub, they're forgiving about my bit of chub. But anyway, so yeah, and I met Russell and he's hot. I mean, he's aged, haven't we all? But he was fucking hot and beautiful, like inside and out. I was blown away. I was not expecting it at all to think that he was gorgeous. But when I met him, he was, and he was absolutely lovely to us as well. He actually flew a friend and I to their concert in Melbourne, which was pretty cool. Not as groupies. You're a 34A. I was an A cup for a long time, but yeah, my boobs are a D cup, but it's purely because they're wide. It's not because they're Molly go lightly, arrive 3 hours before you do sort of boobs. Yeah, chunky's good. I like men that can throw you around a bit, consensually. Don't get all, politically correct. I like cavemen. These new age guys that, light candles and put yanni on and have a fur rug in front of a fire with glasses of port. I don't do that shit. I want the get home and it's on for young and old on the kitchen bench sort of dude. None of this fluffy, frilly shit. Like, romance to me is my boyfriend cleaning my car for me as a surprise. That to me is sexy. That makes me want to get my gear off. Burning a candle with the lights down low, or going away on a romantic weekend and there's petals floating in a bathtub. That shit, nah, massive turn off. A dude vacuuming the house, that gets me going. You can't, no, overly romantic men. I feel for them because they feel that they've got to be like that. Like, I can't stand Valentine's Day for that reason, because all the horrible, like one year, I've told this story before, but one year some guy gave me a plastic cylinder with a teddy bear and a single solitary rose, and the teddy bear was holding a red satin love heart that said, "I love you." Oh my God! Well, some of you know, I dunked that thing in petrol. Welcome to the Argyle Street car park. I don't think I've brought you in here before. When I first moved back to Tassie, I've been living in Sydney, and car parking was like $50 a day minimum. And I parked in here, and when I was coming out, the guy said, "Oh, I'm really sorry, you've gone over the first hour," because the first hour's free. "You've gone over the first hour, I'm going to have to charge you." And I put out a $20 note, and he's like, "Have you got any coins?" It's 80 cents. That was back in 2003. It's a bit more expensive now, but I couldn't believe it. I'm like, shit, 80 cents. What a ripoff. Yep, husbands who build shit. We can do a live and knock overly romantic men. But yeah, all that sort of forced romance stuff, it's just so contrived. I don't like it. That little teddy bear got doused in kerosene and lit, and I made a slingshot and made it fly, and that fucker flew. It flew over the fence and landed on the neighbour's roof. And then the next thing I got the guilt, thinking, oh my God, that house is going to burn down. So typical uni students, we raced around and knocked on the house and said, "There's a bit of smoke on your roof." But as if they wouldn't have known it was us. Needless to say, it had rained the day before and the teddy bear went out. There wasn't a lot of petrol on it, but that's how much I felt about the I Wavu teddy bear. So don't be giving me anything like that anytime soon, Groovers. Oh, it looks like the car park's full because people that are coming down are now indicating for parks. I better pay attention. I forgot I'm in a car park looking for a park. So I'm going to focus on that. But I think the message, the takeaway from today's live is check your tatas. First of every month is a good way to remember to do it. And when you get the little message saying you've got a mammogram coming up, make sure you confirm and book it and get in there and get it done. They give us lovely little gifts when we get our mammograms down here. You get better ones on the bus though. So I'm a bit bummed that I've missed the bus because the bus gives you like a little show bag with lots of things with pink on it, including like a little laundry bag for your bras, which, you put your bras in when you do your washing. And I use that all the time. My sister was very upset because she didn't get any show bag. Here we go. We're in. Thick and veiny. Check your man's balls and he can check your breast. That's great advice. Thick and veiny. Wow. That's a name. That's a name. Thanks, Shady Man. Yep, Scout and I doing the right thing, getting our tatas attended to. And hopefully it's inspired someone, or if they're watching the replay, they might be like, oh shit, I think I'm a bit overdue for one of those. And they might get on with getting it done because it is worth it. Like I keep saying, that little bit of discomfort could end up saving your life. So look after your health. Thank you. Yeah, 1927. Oh, you'll hear about all of that. Faux show. You're the horniest man in North London. Well, that's quite an accolade or achievement, or hopefully you'll find some little plaything in North London soon and they can ease your suffering. But I hope you all have a beautiful day, night, whatever you're up to. Thick and the worst speller. Yeah, look, I don't get too pedantic about spelling, but if he wants to spell horniest like that, that might have something to do with. I really don't care about the size of your doodle because I'm never going to ask to see it. But good on you. Scout, greetings and welcome, thick and veiny. Oh my God, you're cracking me up. Yeah, blow up doll is an option. Just send one off to the star. Make sure she gets clean annually or whatever. I'm just grabbing my mask. I forgot we need we need to wear masks because it's still a health facility. So luckily I've remembered that. I'm pretty sure I remembered to grab my Medicare card. I hope so. You're the E-Jack king. I think you're the jack-off king, to be honest. I know, it's a bit of a bad park. It's because of him. This girl's looking at me like, he parked a bit weirdly. I'm like, yeah, because of the guy next to me. I've got my Medicare card. That all gets covered. This is why I like getting in a bit early so I can just do all my checks. She's all right. Why is she doing it again? Now making me feel like I'm the worst parker in the world, but I park next to the worst parker in the world. Don't guilt me, lady. I did the best I could do. Remember to wash your hands, and your mum needs help with the laundry. Too bad she can't get it up. Oh, look, come on. Well, I suppose he deserves it. If he's going to come in here and talk about his penis, then he deserves whatever he gets. Just don't be sending anyone a fucking unsolicited dick pic, mate. Because that is not cool. Ever. Oh, yeah, yearly colonoscopy. Not fun. Not fun. And all the best for you tomorrow, Scout. Take care, everyone. Thanks again for hanging out. As always, you're beautiful people. And enjoy your day, whatever it entails. And I'll see you all again very soon. But don't forget, check your tatas. Love you, groovers.